Now, Love FM's Nana Aljima also reports that general ward and outpatients department services as the Suntreso and other hospitals have resumed effectively. He joins us live with more. Nana, tell us about the difference in the number of patients reporting to the facilities you visited. Nanayao, if you can hear me.
Hospital and also the Dementia Hospital.
Go ahead, Nanayao.
Officers there.
Right, Nanayao Jima is our man in the Ashanti region. And Nanayao, if you can hear me, let us know what's the difference when it comes to the number of patients reporting to the facilities you visited.
For that, visit the hospital daily, but they couldn't give me the exact. Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're live.
Daniel.
Daniel, you're live. So live on JoyNews today. We apologize for the poor connection there between Nana Aljima and ourselves. He's currently stationed in the Ashanti region. Now, a bit of background to this story. Last week, a letter was sent to the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association in the here in Accra. And this letter was an injunction, which was to stop them from going on strike. They did not receive the letter, and so they went on strike anyway on Monday. So what we are trying to find out from Nanayao, and he's just rejoined us on the telephone, is whether or not there is a difference in the numbers of patients that are visiting the hospital. Nanayao, can you give us a fair idea?
In the Ashanti region, I've been to the Comfortnochi Teaching Hospital, the Suntreso Hospital, and also the Dementia Hospital so far. And in all these facilities, I can say that there's been an increase in the number of people who visit the hospital regularly. The health professionals there couldn't give me the exact change in terms of nominal figures, but from what I've heard so far, there's been a rise in the number, especially at the Suntreso Hospital, because the Suntreso Hospital had to shut down its maternity and also ward throughout the period that the nurses were on strike. So when they resumed, all those who were scheduled to visit the hospital on Tuesday, Wednesday, and also Monday have all today come to the hospital to receive the attention that they needed. So if you go to the maternity and also some other services that were put on hold, those areas demarcated for these people have seen a surge in numbers, including the special units. For instance, people with hypertension, diabetes, and other health conditions who on Tuesday reported. So for the Comfortnochi Hospital, what they've done is that some of them who were scheduled to come, say, on Monday or Tuesday, some of them had to go back and return on the day because those are the days that they have designated to give such services. Others have been told to come later in the afternoon after 1 p.m. where doctors who take care of such situations will come.
Right.
So the hospital officials are trying to deal with these situations which have taken them by surprise.
Okay, Nanayao, you have spoken to some of these nurses, I assume, who have returned to work. What's their demeanor like?
Okay, a number of them are okay because according to them, they've left everything to lead front. So they're strike and take the necessary action. And, seeing what's happening at the hospitals today, they believe that their services are needed. So today they've returned, and at the Suntreso Hospital, the nurse in charge will have to double up to deal with the numbers that they are seeing today, because, as I said earlier, the numbers have surged.
Thank you very much, Nana Aljima. Let's go to the Volta region. Ivy Setoji is standing by. I still remember those images of empty hallways and abandoned hospital facilities that you sent in earlier this week. Ivy, how much has the situation changed today?
practically, Daniel, as a changed nurses, should I say 70 or 80% of nurses are there in the hospital working? But surprisingly, patients are not in. Most patients are not in. It seems a lot of people are not aware that the nurses have resumed work today. So you don't see a lot of the patients in this general hospitals or a public hospital. But for the nurses, most of them have resumed work and are working normally as if nothing has happened. Most of them wouldn't want to talk to the media. And those of them who offer to talk off camera today, but they are happy to get back to work and serve Monday.
Now, Ivy, for a setting like the Volta region where you are, when people are sick and they do not go to the hospital as we know it, what are the options available to them? Can they go to private clinics, for instance, or do they go to traditional healers? Where do they go?
Yes, of course. In the urban areas, in the region, for example, people also prefer to go to the private hospital where they think the services are better. So they think. So when it happens like that, those that have needs go to the private hospitals. A lot of them are around. But in the rural areas, the villages, for example, they have the herbal healers, the traditionalists who also take care of them.
Right.
So they also explore those options as well.
Ivy Sesoji, thank you so much for those updates. Now, the Media Foundation for West Africa has also been saying that the National Communications Authority is making a mockery of the right to information law. According to the foundation, that was not what the media and civil societies fought for, and so it will not pay the 2,000 Ghana cedis being demanded by the NCA, as it will send a bad precedent. The Media Foundation for West Africa says it believes the decision to close down some radio stations was discriminatory and politically motivated. The Roads and Highways Minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, has revealed that a total of 47 different road projects are currently under construction in the Bono East region. The minister mentioned this during the sword cutting ceremony for the construction of the age-old Atebubu Kwame Danso Road. According to him, contrary to an online publication that purported that the Atebubu Kwame Danso Road project would start 7 months after the sword cutting ceremony, the contractor is already on site working, and Asabit has more.
Roads and Highways Minister Mr. Kwesi Amoakwata at a press briefing held in Techiman paid a mental picture of the current state of the road network in the Bono East region.
Bono East has a total road network of 4,550 kilometers. And out of these, only 17% is paved. 17% is paved, representing 778 kilometers. The remaining 83% or so remain at either gravel or earth state.
The minister, who was part of the list of ministers who toured the region as part of the president's 2-day working visit to the region, highlighted the number of road projects currently under construction in the Bono East region.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we take Bono East, we have 47 different road projects going on simultaneously. 47 going on across the length and breadth of this region. Ghana Highway Authority is working on 24 projects. Department of Federal Roads is working on 15 projects, and Department of Urban Roads is working on 8 projects, totaling 47 ongoing projects.
Mr. Amoakwata indicated that the Atebubu Kwame Danso Road, which is considered as one of 3 critical roads in the region, is being awarded to one of the finest contractors in the country.
You know the importance of Atebubu Kwame Danso Road in a terrible condition. All these years, it had never been worked on, it had never seen bitumen. Terrible road. And is considered one of the critical, important roads for so many reasons. is being worked on and being brought to bituminous level. So the people of this region deserve it. The people of this country deserve that road.
The minister, however, expressed disappointment at a recent online publication that portrayed that the project would commence 7 months after the sword cutting ceremony by the president.
It's estimated that the work will be completed in 30 months, specifically by October 2022. And the contractor has been on site for 4 months now and is almost completing a 15-kilometer stretch of it. Sword was cut by His Excellency the President, and today if you go to Ghana Web, it has been reported by one of you that the President cut the sword and work will start in 7 months from now. I mean, how can there are mistakes. All of us make errors and mistakes. But how can, you see that you yourselves are laughing, those of you who were there. You know, how can anybody make such a mistake? The entire 15-kilometer stretch that is almost getting ready to receive bitumen, we all drove on it. The machines were there. And when we drove on it, everybody saw the contractor on site working because they were working.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is commencing a 2-day working visit to the Bono region from today, 24th September 2020. The visit, which will see the Vice President attend derbers in 6 different constituencies, including Banda and Doma West, will also afford him the opportunity to cut sword for a 39-kilometer Sino-Hydro road project in Sunyani and Brekum. Correspondent Precious Semevo joins us with the latest. Now, Precious, bring us up to speed on the Vice President's tour to the region. Precious, bring us up to speed on the Vice President's tour to the region. Right. Precious, if you can hear me, bring us up to speed on the Vice President's tour to the region.
Right, Daniel. So currently the Vice President has arrived at Bongase in the Banda district of the Bono region. He just arrived at the Deba. Now, when he checked into town, first he went to the Bui generation site to first inspect the solar energy plant that is being built by the Bui Power Authority. So currently the Vice is at Deba by the chiefs and people of Bongase for the program itself. If you can hear the sound from the background, it is the chief of Bongase who is welcoming the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and his entourage to the Bongase in the Banda district. Now, it is just a day here in Banda where the Vice President is expected to address the chiefs and people. And right here, he is expected to move to Insoko, also in the Time district, for a similar event of the chiefs and people of Insoko. And then from there, he will move to Sunyani in the Sunyani West district, where he is expected to cut short for the construction of a 29-kilometer road project, which is part of the Sino-Hydro road project by government. So this happens to be the Vice President's itinerary and what he is doing for today. But as of now, he's yet to speak. As soon as he does that, we'll bring that up.
So, Precious, if I can understand, the Vice President is basically going to be addressing derbers and performing sword cutting ceremonies.
So you do in and then continue to when
Right, Precious, unfortunately, it's quite difficult to hear you, so we'll have to end the conversation there. Now, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has donated some relief items to victims of the recent flooding in Nawuni, Afayele, and several other communities within the Kumungu district of the northern region. In all 9 districts in the northern region were hit by the floods, with about 15,200 persons affected. Martina Bugri has more.
Dr. Hamza Adams, aspiring ND's parliamentary candidate for Kumbungu in the upcoming December polls, who did the presentation, said a team had initially done an assessment and they made an appeal to the leadership of the party for support, which they responded positively.
We are here representing the Umbrella family. We were here initially to commiserate with our people, to see and to do an assessment of the situation. And upon the assessment, we made a passionate appeal to the leadership of NDC. So I'm here, the party has responded positively. They have provided a number of items, including 40 bags of rice. We also have used clothing. We also have 8 cartons of cooking oil, about 200 mosquito nets. In addition to that, we also have caps. So I'm here to make the donation to the good people of Nawuni and other affected communities on behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Dr. Adams raised concerns about NADMO's delay in getting information across to the communities affected and rallying them to move upstream.
Government of Ghana must find a lasting solution to it. We are appealing to the government. If you look at the communication machinery of NADMO, is very, very poor. The people who live in the catchment area are not given prior notice about the spillage of the dump. And so people are taken aback. So this is a very serious issue. I am appealing to NADMO to make sure that they intensify their communication machinery so that communication can get to the people on time. I'm also appealing to the government to try as much as possible to intensify their relationship with the good people of Burkina Faso so that a permanent solution can be brought to this menace.
Now, poor state of roads and drainage systems remain top of the agenda for residents of Lejokuku constituency. While some believe the current Member of Parliament, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, deserves a second term for trying to deal with this, others disagree, saying the NDC's Ben Ayiku deserves to be elected. Here's what to expect on Battleground this evening on Joy FM.
The Lejokuku constituency covers areas including Tribleo, South and North Teshinungwa estates and Abolebu. The residents, including fisher folk who ply their trade along the coast, have their own concerns.
For us as the fisher folks, they have not even finished with the projects here for us to be able to assess them. If someone promises to give you a car but is yet to hand it over to you, there's little you can say till you get it. Even our roads have not been completed. This gutter has also been here for so many. People keep dying and the politicians do nothing about it. But when it's time for elections, they'll come and promise new things, then abandon us after that.
No mini generation wo ba kaka atwa na me yende chief na gashi wo MP ni bane ahead to neji bane get bateshi afiku na.
This current MP brought a lot of harbor motors for the fishermen. I'm really impressed. It's never happened in Teshi. I only wish they had given them out on credit for more people to own some.
We are happy with Okoboy. You know, the main trade here at Teshi is fishing, but there's no factory to process or store the fishes. If the waves get turbulent and you cannot swim, you'll die.
The constituency made news in 2019 when residents demanded that a 7.5-kilometer road that passes in front of the Lekma Hospital is fixed.
It's a dusty ride and it's a bumpy ride.
We have complained about this issue to government, but nothing has been done about it. Our MP came here during elections. He campaigned about this road. Our MP promised to fix the roads for us. But after elections, nothing has been done. All the roads linking to other parts of the communities are all in bad state. Just take a look at me. I'm even sick. We plead that they do something about these roads.
We voted for MPP because of this. We didn't vote because the NDC couldn't do anything about it.
This road has since been fixed with contractors placing level of completion over 80%. The residents who are vocal and passionate about development are looking forward to the December polls.
Registration the consideration of the law.
The NPP's Bernard Okoboy will be seeking to make history as being the first MP to be given a second term. The NDC's Benayiku will have none of that, but the voters will decide, and they took turns to make a case for their candidates.
We went to Adentan last week. Tune into Joy FM at 8 p.m. tonight as we hit Lejokuku for the second edition of the Battleground. We look at key constituencies that are going to be deciders in this election. It's live on JoyNews today. Now coming up in business, Ghana Exports Promotion Authority report shows a dip in Ghana's cocoa paste exports for last year. Daryl Kwao has those details.